Welcome back to another episode of Messy But Motivated, where we turn trials into testimonies. Guys, welcome back. This is the first episode where we are going headfirst into some of these amazing testimonies. And today I have an amazing one for you. You guys are going to want to hear it. It'll pull at your heartstrings, I promise. But the ending is amazing. Today, I want to talk about how we're in control of our ending. We're in control. Because let's be honest, guys, life doesn't always hand us the story that we expected. Some people get good ones, some people get the mediocre, and some of us get the dumpster fire, all right? Some of us do. But we have to realize that those things might have been a part of our past, but they aren't the things that break us. They cannot break us. You are unbreakable. You have to realize that you are unbreakable. The main thing about it is getting back up. You have to get back up. You have to. And I know, trust me, I know betrayal, it cuts deep. That diagnosis you got, oh, girl, it hurts. And that addiction, the one your son has, the one you had, that addiction, ooh, that stillbirth you had, I know, it hurts. But you know what? It might have knocked the wind out of you, but you just still need to get up. You still need to get up, sister. You need to get up, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's you. I understand those moments are real, okay? And they shape us into who we are. But that's not the ending of your story. Here is the truth. They don't get to write the ending of your story. Those bad breaks are not the ending. They aren't. You get to write the ending of your story. It's you. We cannot control the chapters we've already lived. We can't. It's just inevitable. We can't. But we can choose how we respond to them. We can choose to keep showing up for ourselves. We can choose to keep getting back up every time we fall. And we can continue to move forward because we have that choice. We can do that, right? I know we're in control of that. And I know it's easier to stay down sometimes. I know that. But think of it like this. Some of the strongest, most inspiring people that you have ever met in this world. I know me personally, the most inspiring people I've ever met, they've walked through some fires. And they refuse to let those fires keep them down or consume them. They didn't let what happened to them have the final word. They picked up the pen and they decided, listen, this ain't how my story's going to end. I get it. You might feel right now like you're stuck, that this chapter right now, you're like, oh, it's unfair. It's unbearable. How is there a God? I don't understand. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. I get it. I've been there. A lot of us have. I'm going to say 98% of us who are listening to this right now have. But those chapters that you're in right now, those messy ones, they're not the whole book. You have to remember that. They are not the whole book. The truth is, if you're still here, God's not finished writing your story. He's not. Actually, he's probably just begun. This is the beginning. Today, I just want to encourage you, don't hand over the pen to your circumstances. Please do not do it. I see so many people do this and it breaks me because I'm just like, I don't understand. You're in control of this story. You're writing it. If you have already given the pen over to your circumstances, I need you to take it back. Today. Take it back today. I don't want you to go to sleep and think about it. Take it back today. You didn't choose the hard things that happened to you. But I'm telling you this, you do get to choose what happens next. You do. Because your story is not over. It is not over. And I will tell you that many, many, many times. The ending is still in your hands. It is. I know it's hard to even hear that if you're in the muck of it right now. But today I am going to share a story that was emailed to me of a girl named Savannah from Meridian, Idaho. And her story it touched me, and I know it's going to touch you as well. It's going to pull on your heartstrings a little, and it may be a story that you need to share with somebody who maybe feels like, what's next? What's next for me? Because I've been there. I've questioned, what's next? Like, you've given me this, you've given me that. I'm taking punches on all these sides. Like, what is next? And that is what this podcast is about. We are here to show you these stories and testimonies that get sent into me. I'm going to share them with you. And a lot of them are really hard. So trigger warning, trigger warning. But I think they're important because some of you need to hear it. Some of you need to hear that these people have been through it and they are still getting up in the morning and putting one foot in front of the other. And they are using that circumstance, that chapter of that book, they are using it as fuel for the next chapter. And I can tell you because I've been there. Many of you, if you haven't heard my testimony, I believe it's episode 6. It's hard. And not every day is going to be easy. But all you can tell yourself is that you are in control of what happens next. You are. You are the one that gets to choose how the story ends. If you hand over the pen to them, the hurt, the circumstance, you are letting them create the ending of your story. I know that's hard to hear. It really is. And even thinking about this topic today, I was like, man, this is deep. This is deep. But going through therapy, I can tell you, if you are going through therapy, I want to start here. It's messy in the beginning. It's like how I tell my husband, it's like pulling the weeds out. Those weeds that have grown that were, it's pulling them, it's plucking them, it's chucking them. It is, and it's hard. You start to realize things in your life that weren't good for you. For instance, my THC, alcohol. You start to realize the people that aren't good for you in your life. You start to realize, if I want to be here and I'm here, how am I going to get here? How am I going to get to where I want to be? And I think what I'm doing right now and the people I hang around with are not what's going to get me there. And it might be a slap in the face. It might be. It may be that you need to find a new friend group. It may mean that you need to go to church. It may mean that it could mean so many things, and everybody's story is different. Maybe it's put down the bottle. Vodka's good. It is. Everybody knows it's good, but it's not good for you. It is not. It completely, I try to remember like what it was like when I was drinking alcohol, and I'm not against alcohol. I want everybody to know that. I just used to drink it like I thought that I needed it to have fun. And now that I don't drink, I'm like, I'm just a fun person. I didn't need that at all. But when I did drink it, I would drink it. And then the next day I was so embarrassed. I'd be like, oh my God, I didn't say that. Or, oh, I didn't do that. Or, all the things. And I would just be so embarrassed. It didn't matter what it was. If one time I fell off a table, like you guys, these are things like, I'm just like, oh, what were you doing? Girl, no. So I don't ever think there was a time where I drank alcohol and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't regret anything that I did. There was never a time. There was something I did stupid that night. There was something that I said. There was something that, it's just like, yeah, those were great memories because we had a good laugh. But in the end, I'm like, oof, embarrassing. I look back at them now and I'm like, oh gosh, that was me. And I get it. It's all part of my story, and everybody's story is different. I just know that my story is, in order to get from A to B where I want to be, no pun intended, I had to eliminate some of those vices. I had to come to reality that I couldn't do this alone. And it meant I had to seek the Lord. I had to do it. I had to surrender to him and say, listen, I am not in control, and it is time you take over, because I know you've been here. I know, but it's time that I let you take the wheel. Okay. Because I don't know what I'm doing. And once I did that and I surrendered, my life has just been amazing. And so this podcast, I really want to inspire people to not only maybe seek the Lord, but also just listen to the stories and realize that you're in control of your story. And if we can make it out of some of these horrendous things that we've been through, you can too. So I am going to get into this letter that was written by Savannah in Meridian, Idaho. I had to get my glasses, so here we go. Without further ado, this is from Savannah. She is from Meridian, Idaho, and she wrote in, "Hi, I'm Savannah. I am 29 years old. At 14, my world had unraveled. My mom, once a registered nurse, had been caught stealing drugs from her patients and was sent to prison. My dad, who had always been more of a weekend visitor than a father, slipped even further out of my life once my mom was gone. He was building a new family with his new wife. That left me in the care of my aunt, who loved me but couldn't fill the emptiness inside. By high school, I was desperate to fit in. What started as smoking marijuana to feel accepted soon spiraled into harder drugs and nights I couldn't remember. I rebelled because all I wanted was to feel wanted. At 16, my aunt got married, and first I thought it might bring stability to our household. Instead, it was the beginning of my deepest nightmare. My aunt's husband began to visit my room late at night, whispering threats if I dared to tell. For 2 years, I lived in silence, weighed down by shame and confusion, too afraid to speak, too afraid not to. When I turned 18, the burden became too heavy to carry alone. I confided in my best friend, whose family opened up their home to me. Her father was a pastor at the time, and his only stipulation that I volunteer at the church and partake in their counseling program they offered. For the first time in years, I felt safe. I began to believe maybe my story wasn't over. I would help my friend with children's ministry on Sunday and helped her mom facilitate the teen Bible study on Monday nights. I became part of the church. I started to feel like I was part of a family in which I never had. After living with my friend for over 6 months, my aunt told me she was pregnant. Fear came over me, and I knew if I didn't tell her my truth, that history would repeat itself. Terrified, I sent my aunt a text message, trembling as I typed, telling her everything I had endured. The response came quickly, questions pouring in, and I answered them all with raw honesty. The next day, news broke. My aunt's husband had jumped off a bridge. The weight of his death crushed my chest. Guilt whispered that it was my fault and that my cousin would grow up without a father because of my words. But my aunt sat me down weeks later and told me the truth. I wasn't the only one. Another victim had come forward before, but she had chosen to believe her husband's denial. Now, faced with the same accusations again, the lies collapsed around him. His choice to end his life was his alone. A month after he passed, I moved back in with my aunt. Not as a broken girl, though, but as a guardian to my new cousin. Together, her and I raised my baby cousin, who grew into a radiant young girl with hope in her eyes and a future brimming with promise. I refused to let my past be wasted. I went to college, earned my psychology degree, and now work with children rescued from human trafficking. Kids who carried the same invisible scars I once hid. My pain has become my purpose. Did I continue to go to church? Yes. It was part of my life at that point, and I saw the way I was being cared for by the Lord through it all and promised to never turn my back on him. Last year, I met the man who would become my husband. He has began his slow but steady walk with the Lord. He told me last week that he has never known peace like this before and thanked me for bringing light to the Lord when he was pushing him away. Looking back, I could finally see it clearly. Every dark chapter, every painful scar had been woven into something greater. My suffering hadn't destroyed me. It had equipped me to sit with others in theirs and to point them towards the same hope I had finally found. I want to first thank Savannah for sharing her story. When I got that one, I completely had chills reading it, and I couldn't wait to message her back. to let her know, I would be honored to share that on my podcast. And if you have a story, I want to say this to you. I know it takes a lot of courage, and she didn't have to give her name. She could have said it was anonymous, and I'm completely fine with that. But just remember that your story can change somebody's future. I remember being in dark spots throughout my life where I questioned things and got to a point where, what was this life even for? Did I want to go on? I got to a point where, I don't know what's next. And reading her letter, I felt the pain, especially being somebody who was sexually assaulted as well. I know the pain that she was probably feeling, and I can't imagine somebody unaliving themselves because you came forward. He just went to prison, and I say just went, but he went to prison for a long time. And I felt guilt that he was behind bars. So I can't imagine the pain that she had. I'm saying this all to say, your struggle that you are going through right now, you aren't the only one who's going through that struggle. You aren't. I ask that if you have a story that you would like to share with us, please, or anybody that maybe you think would be open to sharing their story, go ahead and email us at comeasyouare, spelled out, comeasyouare at mrsmotivated.com, mrsmotivated.com. And if you want to email me personally, I am open to that as well. It's Melinda, Melinda, at mrsmotivated.com. And if you would rather just call in your story, I am open to that as well, or call it in and email. I am open to that as well. If you would also like to do a Zoom meeting on it, I am open to that as well. We actually have a database that we can use for that. It is whatever you want, but make sure that if you want recognition, to send me your handle and so on and so forth. If you would like to call your story in, please call 641, that's area code 641-505-1558. And all I ask is that you leave a message telling us your story. If you don't want to leave your name, you do not have to tell your name. And just try to tell it the best you can. And if you have, for any reason, need to stop, that is completely fine. Go ahead and submit it and then email us the rest, whatever you are comfortable with. I just want this podcast to be a place where we are telling how our trials turned into testimonies. And if you have that, please share it with us or send the podcast to somebody who may want to share their story. With that being said, you guys, I am so thankful for all of the emails that you have sent me, all of the love, all of the podcast downloads. My heart is literally just, I can't be more happier. I just can't. So thank you so much. And some big things are coming up. I always like to update you guys. I have been asked to be on a few podcasts, so I will let you guys know those podcasts that I'm going to be on. And remember, you guys, we do have retreats coming up. We have 2 planned for next year. If you want to be part of that, I highly recommend to go on and subscribe to our mailing list so that you will be the first to know about it. But as always, I will tell you on here as well. I am so excited for the future of this podcast, you guys. Thank you so much. And as always, share it with a friend. That is the biggest honor to me. Or go ahead and rate us, because we have not had many reviews at all. So please do that if you would like. Thank you guys for everything. I hope you have a blessed week. And as always, remember, it's okay to be messy as long as you stay motivated.